Delhi Comic Con.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for having me out here.
So I think this is your first time in India.
Yeah, my first time in India. Yeah, first time. Yeah.
How's it been? Culture shock?
It's fantastic. I love how everything's so vibrant. I've never done a Comic Con outdoors. The weather's perfect. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you are lucky. This is usually. I mean, we're not going to comment on the air quality, but I think we've all been lucky this year.
I was told don't worry about rain or anything, so it's very predictable.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. All right, okay, well, let's just dive right in. First impressions, Delhi Comic Con, first time in India, first time in Delhi. First impressions of the convention.
It's fantastic. It's huge. My first impression is everyone here loves Spider-Man so much.
Yeah, definitely a lot of Spider-Man fans.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. My first impression, the most thing that stood out to me the most are the monkeys.
Did you manage to get a few glimpses
of
monkeys?
I saw some monkeys, and they're pretty awesome.
Okay, I definitely saw dogs, but I missed the monkeys, thankfully.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dustin, I mean, I just want to jump right in. What got you into comic books? Like, what drove your passion to work in this industry?
For me, I was drawn to it more like pop culture. Pop culture is like a connecting language for everyone, whether no matter who you are in life. It came to me. I love pop culture before I loved drawing even. I was a refugee. I came from Vietnam during the 80s, and my family, we were fleeing the country and everything. And when we came to America, I didn't speak English. I didn't have any friends. I didn't speak English. We landed in Georgia in America. I don't know anything. But I remember meeting some people and some other kids, and even though we didn't speak the same language, the thing that connected us was Batman. Batman and just toys. So we would just start playing together. And that's when I didn't realize at the time, but I was like, it doesn't matter who you are and where you are in the world. There's a universal language with just, the joy of loving a fandom, just enjoying a property. And, it doesn't matter who you are. And for me, that grew. And then as I got older, I just appreciated it more and more. Even though I started to become a different person and everything, I really reconnected with myself, my younger self, and I just felt, comics, toys, video games, they bring me peace inside. So,
I think that's something that a lot of people here can connect with. Yeah, definitely, especially the children of all ages who attend Comic Con.
Yeah. There's no age gap, no age limit for the imagination and fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, obviously you mentioned Batman. So that's one of the first properties that got you into it, and you got to work on Batman. So what was that? Like, you grow up idolizing something, and then you go, oh, I get to be part of this now.
Oh yeah. With Batman, I grew up with the Batman the Animated Series, the original, the series where Paul Dini and Bruce Timm worked on. So the funny thing about me is I never really wanted to draw anything but Batman. So when I did samples, I did anything, it was always, I only drew Batman. So when I got the job to draw Batman, it was no surprise for a lot of my friends. They're like, oh, you finally got to draw what you love. And then getting to work with Paul Dini, who created the series, that was a dream come true. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and speaking of dreams, I'm going to take it from there. So you got to work on Batman. That's dream already come true. What's the dream that has not come true? What's the property that you really, really want to work on? Haven't got the chance yet, but maybe we can, manifest right now.
The dream and property I want to work on is I want my own island. That's my property. And I want to work on taking over the world. No, I'm not.
I'm going to change that to but the intellectual property that you want to work on.
Honestly, there's nothing that it's weird to say that I don't really have a dream to work on something that I have to shoot for. Because every day I work in something. I work on any book I worked on with Jeff Lemire, Scott Snyder. It's fun. It's like I look at what I'm working on now, and it's all I have to concentrate on now. I don't have the capacity to really, I'm so busy looking at it now that it's really fun, and whatever I'm working on at the moment is kind of
So tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now. What's going on in the head, and what's happening there?
Right now, because I'm shifting back from working, Little Monsters was my last book after Robin and Batman. It was purely digital. So what's working in my head right now is I'm trying to relearn how to paint paint by hand again because Robin and Batman was done by hand painting, and I want to retrain myself, but I want to do better. You know what I mean? I want to bring something new to it that I've learned in the last 2 years when I wasn't working on it. I want to polish up my work, and that's pretty much what's going on in my mind.
So, what's some advice that you could give to a lot of like the young fans here? A lot of them who want to get into art and maybe specifically comic book art.
I think I've been asked this question a lot of times, and a lot of it is really draw. You got to draw everything. Comic books is different than any other medium out there. We don't have a team to design. We don't have a team to do backgrounds. We don't have the team for props. Comic book artists, we draw everything. That's our job. We draw everything from the people to the props, the backgrounds, the vehicles. We design everything, and all within a day, all within the month that we have to draw the book. So if you get a chance, just draw everything. Draw yourself at the desk. Draw your parents, cooking. Draw, a car driving by. Draw the monkeys in the trees. Draw everything. But the thing is, you got to always draw. And on days where you don't feel like drawing, those are the days you really should draw. Because when you have a job, you don't have a choice. That's the day you're gonna have to draw. So train yourself to be very disciplined to draw and draw everything you can.
Okay. Have you had a chance to check out any of the Indian comic book scene yet while you've been here? And what do you think about what's happening in India?
I think it's great. I've not only had a chance to check it out, but a lot of people actually come to me and showed me their book, and I just think it's great. I don't know what the resources are here, but it seems like you have so much resources to print and publish for yourself, which is it was something rare for me in the U.S. because everything we do we ship out to Canada or China or somewhere else to publish. So if it's expensive to try to publish your own book, so it becomes expensive to kind of make your dream come true. But it seems like the industry here is a little more open to self-publishing, and I think self-publishing is a big part of the industry that no one it was kind of overlooked before. It's like everyone had to go through Marvel, everyone had to go through DC, but then Image came along and self-publishing came along, and you have all these crazy great ideas. It's ideas that normally wouldn't be picked up by anyone. Or you'd have to go through a big publisher and they have to look at it, and then you have one person determining your entire future, which is you don't need that, but I feel like self-publishing today is very important, and if you have that opportunity, and it seems like the industry here is very open to self-publishing, it's a great way to get your ideas out there, and everyone gets you get the vote of the people. It's true democracy, like if this book is good, it's going to get picked up, and I feel that's very important, and you have that here.
Plus, and now if there's something that somebody doesn't want to publish, you know who to get in touch with.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's a great opportunity out here.
Okay, awesome. Why don't we open it up? Why don't we take some questions from the audience? Those of you sitting here, is there anything on your mind? Anything you want to? I mean, you're not going to get this opportunity very often. Do you want to pick this man's brain about his work, about his personal life? I've been told you're very open to extremely personal questions. No, that was a joke.
I know who told you that.
Okay, does anyone here have something they want to ask Dustin? I mean, I don't have to have all the fun. If you have okay, someone in the front here. Can we get them a mic? Or you can just shout. Do we have a mic for our friend in the audience? No, shall I just check you this one? Why don't you just shout? It's fine. Okay, no, sorry, they're getting you a mic.
Okay, hi there. Also, nice somewhere in the front, Zafar.
Okay, fine. I know this guy. He also does some sketching. So, okay, you better make this good then.
So, as a fellow, I'll not call myself an artist, but I like to draw. So, what is your motivation to draw on the days like you really don't feel like drawing at all, not working at all, but you have to work on it? So, what is your motivation? What goes through your mind while doing that?
Money.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone says it's if you do something you love for a living, it's not really working. You don't have to work a day in your life. That's a lie. That's a lie. If you do something you really love for a living, you're kind of stuck without a hobby. You know what I mean? My motivation is I have to pay bills, And even though I love what I'm doing, it's still a job. And if I don't, because I'm the artist. The artist is pretty much like, we're the start of the process of the book. So if I don't do my job, my colorist or my letterer won't have work to do. And then the book will be late. And then the writer can't finish his work. And then the publisher is late. And then the retailers don't get their books. And the retailers can't sell their books. And so it's kind of like my fault if everyone else doesn't make money. So I know it sounds kind of weird, but it truly is a motivation because you can't fail everyone else,
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, okay. Anyone else? Any other questions? Okay, we've got a few more. Okay, why don't we start with the lady in the front row, then we're going to go to the back, and then we'll come to you. I don't know, this lady here in the front. We do here, then we'll go back and then to the front.
Hi, I'm Kriti, and we're honored to have you here.
Thanks so
much. I wanted to ask, my daughter is a teenager, and she's very fond of drawing, and she's very fond of comics as well. So, we, like the parents, as parents, we want our kids to have steady jobs, but at the same time, I don't want her to stop her from doing anything. So how do you see the business growing and the projections and any international colleges offering professional courses in this field?
I think what you're asking is there a future in art, right? I'm very biased, so I would tell you there's a huge future in art, whether it be comic books or video games, animation. And those are just the basics of what we see here at Comic-Con. But really, everything in life, it starts with an idea. When you watch your favorite commercial, even if it's live action, your favorite commercial just to sell insurance, that commercial starts out with a storyboard artist creating that scenario that you're buying. When you see an ad for the next big iPhone, that someone had to create that, and it all starts with an idea, and all starts with a sketch, and all starts with a creative individual. So I feel like there is a career in art. You just never know what it is yet, the best you can do as a parent is support them.
So the lady in the back. Okay, you're right next to him anyway. Let's just do it, and then we'll come to you.
So hi, sorry for that. Anyways, so I also create art. Like I like to draw, I like to paint, and I really appreciate your artwork. And I just want to say, this is a question. So there is comic books, there is mangas, like anime mangas. So how do you think that those the elements of both the comics and the mangas, how are they related, and which one do you prefer? It's a controversial question, so be careful with that.
I think
or don't be careful.
I think the answer is the same to both questions. It's all about storytelling. It doesn't really matter what you do. It doesn't really matter what you do as long as you tell a story and it gets a clear message and a clear story across to the audience. And that's what the two have in common. It's all about telling the best story you can using the medium you can. There's no difference in the two besides maybe the way they're published and the way they're drawn. And there's also obviously the difference is in the consumer. The consumer might prefer a certain thing, but comparing the two is more just like comparing, American animation with manga or anything else. It's just what you prefer, and I think the world is big enough where we have room for everything. There's no limit. There shouldn't be no limit to what's out there. I think I enjoy everything, so.
Okay, so I think we have one more at the back here, over there.
What do you prefer, American cartoons or Japanese animations, mangas and all?
I grew up on both. I grew up with Transformers and Robotech. I know those are very old properties, but they're coming back. It's hard to say. I don't prefer any over the other. I think they both work very well together. And, we do, there's a certain time where they should work well together. We have, when Avatar the Airbender came out, that's a perfect example of animation meets, anime. I felt, even though it was created in America, everyone thought it was an anime. But no, I don't prefer any over the other. I think you can't have just one without the other. I mean, like American animation, Japanese animation came from watching American animation. Like the first anime that came out, the reason they're drawn with their eyes really big is because he picked the parts of Disney apart and drew everyone looking like Bambi, because the eyes are. And it's it's actually, that's documented.
Yeah.
So they both kind of like rely on each other, So yeah, and it's great to have competition.
Yeah.
Competition is healthy. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a few more minutes. Okay, we do have some more questions here. Okay, just last two questions and then we're going to wind it up. So gentleman in the black t-shirt with Japanese writing?
Hello. Dustin, I have a really interesting question with you. As you have just said that you have checked out the Indian comics books in the stores right now. Do you have some kind of if a new artist from India is trying out in this field with limited resources and guidance, what is the recommendation you give to the artist for grow big in this field?
I think I would say the biggest thing you have going for yourself right now is social media. They've been able to discover artists from all over the globe just through hashtags. If your stuff is what they're looking for, they're gonna find you. I've seen so many artists that I would never think we would find, because geographically they're somewhere else. But I think the best thing we have going for us right now is social media to find anyone. That's why we have weird memes going viral, and they're coming from weird parts of the world. Social media is just there for you to, if you can share your art, and it's something powerful, something strong enough that they want, it will find you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have one last question.
How much part are graphics of a comic? Like graphics versus the actual story?
This is like music versus lyrics. Art versus literary content.
I think it depends on the comic itself, really. Depends on the book you're working on. If you're working on something that's very more artistically driven, then obviously the art itself would be what draws people. But if you're working on something that's very storybook driven, I think the story should speak through itself. Me personally, I prefer story. I think story comes first, art comes second. And if you're talking about graphics itself, graphic design, like design of the book, that's always appreciated. And sometimes if I can't do something, I will find a designer that's better that will do it better. You look for what's best for the book. You want to put together the best team you can to put together the best book you can. If you can't do something and you don't think you're strong enough, just find someone that can do it. The end product should be the most important.
All right, thank you everyone for your questions. Thank you, Dustin, for your time. I'm going to ask one last question and we'll close it. Any advice for Comic-Con India? Anything that you feel they're doing right, something that they can do better? How do they make sure that you come back again?
I was walking around last night. I would love to see an artist alley. For anyone not familiar with what artist alley is, it's basically a section made just for artists. Indie, mainstream, whatever, a section made for artists where we can come out, we can sit. It could be you, come out, display whatever you want to do. You display your artwork, your jewelry you make, t-shirts, your, print work. It would be very powerful to have like a artist alley, a place to, to kind of highlight the people, the creators that actually make all this together. I mean, it's great that we have toys being sold, but the toys were designed by someone. Great that we have comics, but the comics were drawn by someone. And I think an artist alley would really be something powerful, because that's something we really, myself personally, it's something we really, a lot of fans in the US, they come to Comic-Con strictly just for artist alley, because that's where they can meet the people, the work that they enjoy, meet directly with the artists and interact with them. And so I think an artist alley would be very, very cool.
Okay, that's great. So thank you, Dustin, for your time. Thank you, Comic-Con Delhi, for your time. And let's have a big round of applause.